they either parasitic means they are able to grow on some host, and from there they are able to obtain their food, or they hunt their food. Some examples are amoeba, paramecium, Giardia are some of the examples of protozoa. Now we are going to see some protozoas are very harmful. So that means some are disease causing, but others are not harmful. As you can see out here, amoeba and paramecium. So these are structures of protozoa. Now next one is virus. Now virus is very unique organism. Now virus is the sources of some of the diseases, as you can see out here: fever, chickenpox, measles, and conjunctivitis. These are some of the diseases that are caused by virus. And one unique thing about virus is it lives in two states. That means it is also known as living thing or non-living thing. Until and unless a virus does not find a host. Host is anything on which this virus is able to grow. Suppose if the virus enters our body, we will become the host. We will provide all the nutrition to the virus. And another thing is that virus can also multiply inside the host. So until and unless the virus enters our body, it is a non-living thing. But if it enters our body, it will become a living thing. So that time it will multiply and it will be causing some of the disease like this. Now the current situation, the pandemic situation which we are facing, the virus COVID-19 is also a virus, and the structure looks somewhat like this, a ball structure with pins everywhere. So the structure of coronavirus also looks somewhat like this. So I suggest all the students to take care of themselves, to sanitize their hand properly, wear a mask, because until and unless the virus doesn't enter your body, it's a non-living thing. But when it enters your body, it is able to multiply and cause some disease to you. Now friendly and useful microorganism. Now we saw all those organisms, and mostly we saw some of its negative part, but a good thing to see is these microorganisms are also useful to us. Some of the bacteria are used for purifying water, and some can also be used in medical purposes, like it is used to create antibiotics, with the help of which some medicines are made. We are also going to see some of the uses of this bacteria. First one, bacteria helps in making curd. So I think everyone enjoys curd, yogurts, cheese and all. So those are made from the bacteria. So what is done, bacteria named lactobacillus is added to the milk, which converts the sugar milk. That means there is lactose in the milk. It is a substance, so that is converted into lactic acid. So once it is converted to lactic acid, the milk become thick and sour. That means that's how your curd is formed. So one uses of bacteria is used for making curd. Next one, yeast. So everyone enjoys bread, I guess. So in order to make bread, yeast is required. So in previous page I was talking about yeast. So what is done when yeast are added to the bread, so from yeast carbon dioxide is released. So it's a gas. So while carbon dioxide is being released, that's how your bread or your bun, it rises in its shape. So usually the breads are normal in shape like this. So as soon as carbon dioxide is released, their size are increased. And most of the baker, they say that if your bread doesn't rise properly, if they doesn't rise properly, then your bread is not good. So because of release of carbon dioxide, your bread rises up, and that's how your bread becomes fluffy and all. So it's your perfect bread is only formed whenever your baked bread is raised. So the reason the bread rises is because of release of carbon dioxide. Now yeast help in brewing alcohol. So alcohol, I hope none of the students take this substance, a beverage, but alcohol in some cases can also be used as a medicine. So what it's done, alcohol usually it is made from barley, rice and some fruits, which are those alcohol are produced from this substance, but it cannot be directly produced until and unless by a process called fermentation. So in fermentation, as you can see, some yeast are added to the alcohol, some yeast are added to barley, wheat, rice and fruits. So because of that, the glucose present inside this substance, glucose present in the fruit, rice and all, it gets fermented, and that's how your alcohol is produced with the release of carbon dioxide. Now we have some algae and fungi as food. So fungi are used for fungi are used in certain varieties of cheese and all. So it's used for usually it is used in some making some Chinese foods and all. As you can see in the diagram, butter mushroom and oysters, it is a type of mushroom which is usually made which is usually required in soup and pizza topping. So they have low fats and cholesterol, and they are rich in proteins and vitamin B. So these are very good to eat, but we should make sure that some fungi are very much poisonous, so you must see which ones are those. Now seaweeds, in some Asian countries, seaweeds are used as a staple food. That means they are used as a diet for some peoples in Asia. So they are rich sources of minerals and other vitamins. Spirulina, it's a kind of an algae which is blue and green in color, usually find in the alkaline lake. So you usually find at the tops of the lake. They are source of a they are very much source of high proteins and contain rich sources. So it contains a very high amount of protein, and they also includes vitamin B12. And it is said that the protein which it has is much higher than that of fish and lean meat and eggs. So Corilla is a single cell algae. It is rich sources of minerals and vitamins. So Chlorella, it is also a kind of algae which we were discussing in previous page. So those are also rich in minerals and vitamins. So with this I would like to conclude the chapter out here. So later on I'll be sending you some of the questions. So please go through this video properly. Thank you.